Hi everyone, it's Melissa Bishop from Wise Woman Healing and your powwow lady. Do you see my headscarf? I bought this at Dollar Tree today. I went out really early. It has sparkles in it. I hope you can tell. It has little sparkles in it. I went out early today. I took out the trash and that was about 7:30 in the morning. And then I went straight and to the grocery store. I just put out the trash, hopped in my car, and then I went to Dollar Tree. And I have to show you these cute pink little trees with peppermint bases. So I put them on my little desk. Make me happy to look at. And I bought this headscarf. Well, it's probably just a regular scarf, but I tied it around my headscarf and add a little bit of decoration. And my husband and I really like their snacks. They have really different snacks, and when you go to the grocery stores, every grocery store has some variant of the same thing, and they all taste the same. They all look the same. So when I go to Dollar Tree, I like to see what kind of snacks they have. And oh my goodness, I don't have them with me. I'm sorry. But they have these, those cow tails where it's caramel and then it has like the creamy center. Oreo did that with an Oreo cookie outside with that soft caramel stuff and then a creamy center. It's so good. If you have children or if you have loved ones that you do stocking stuffers for, I highly recommend just grabbing tons of bags of those if they like Oreo cookies and breaking them open and putting them in stockings. That would be, or if you do a cookie exchange and you want to fill out the tin, you could just stick them between the cookie packets and, well, not packets. We usually put our cookies in the little cupcake papers in there, a few cookies, and then you have the spaces between them and you can just put candies and stuff in there. I wanted to talk to you today about something that's been on my mind for a while. Is expand my channel to include homemaking. I have wanted to do this for years now, and I allowed the nasty negative things and discouragements that other people had done to me and said to me to interfere with that dream. And I watch other YouTube channels such as With Love Christina. Love her channel. If you have not watched it yet and you're into homemaking channels, please go check her out. She has like this Hobbit cottagecore vibe going on, and it's wonderful. And it's perfectly imperfect. I love it. And then another one that I watch is Homestead Tessie. And I absolutely love her. I love her videos. I love her message. I love the vibe that she has. It's very down home and simple. And that's what I grew up with. Okay. I grew up with a grandmother who lived on a huge ranch in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming. And we would go visit her during the summers. She had her own garden. She had chickens. Of course, they had their beef. They had a milk cow. And I had other relatives that had milk cows and chickens and things. The cousins, a lot of them did 4-H. And that was what I grew up watching people live. I also grew up reading things like Little House on the Prairie, Little Women. What else? Just stuff like that where, and then also when I started working at a tea store and a tea room, everybody, this was 25 years ago, everybody was gaga for Tasha Tudor. She wore a little head covering scarf. She made her own clothes, allegedly. I say allegedly, maybe she did. But Tasha Tudor was the first cottagecore influencer. The very first one before there was the internet. There was Tasha Tudor, okay? And she was the original cottagecore. She lived in a cottage that her son built for her. And I remember in her books reading about her cats sleeping in the mixing bowls in the sunbeams. Love that. I just love that aesthetic. And then, growing up, you witness all these things and you love them. And then when you're a girl, you're told to put away your Barbies and your dollies and your doll houses and your little plastic pots and pans and go get a job as an executive somewhere. Like, wait a minute. I just spent my childhood playing with an easy bake oven, uh, playing with doll houses, playing with baby dolls, reading stories about women who kept house. And now all of a sudden I have to cast all of that aside because it's the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I have to go be a boss babe. No, thank you. I did not like that life at all, but I was thrown into that life because that's what everyone was doing. Everyone, if you want to see what that's like, go and watch the movie Mona Lisa Smile if you haven't seen it yet. In the movie, the women are at this women's college and they're all told, you can do anything you want, you can be anything you want, except for a housewife. Can't be a housewife. Can't be a housewife. There is a tradition, I don't know if it's Norwegian or Swedish or what, Scandinavian, somewhere, where they give books on Christmas Day. And then like everybody exchanges books as gifts on Christmas Day. And then you go and you spend from Christmas Day to New Year's reading your book. Well, if you want to give someone a meaningful book, an impactful book, a really great book, I recommend this book by Carrie Gress. Yeah, but you thought I was going to suggest a cookbook. The title is The Anti-Mary Exposed, Rescuing the Culture from Toxic Femininity by Carrie Gress. And Homestead Tessie actually, sorry, I had to turn that off, echoed a sentiment that is in this book that I just quoted, kind of. And that is about women having to give up the things that they love and they played with as children and go and join the adult world, whereas men, they get to continue playing with, or they get to continue on into careers based on the toys that they played with. Most of them. Not every man that played with a fire truck is a fireman, but a lot of them play with their fire trucks. They play with their police cars. They play with their Tinker toys. And a lot of them are fortunate enough to go on to be construction workers, firemen, policemen, whatever. Look at Tony Hawk. He skateboarded as a kid and he made it his career. He's in his 50s now, I think, and he's still skateboarding. So if you are someone who wants to be a homemaker, go ahead and be a homemaker. It's okay. And I'm a Christian woman. I'm a Christian homemaker. I love being a Christian woman and a Christian homemaker. When my husband and I were first married, actually when we were dating, I used to say, let's both work, because that's what I had seen. That's what I was told to do with my family. That's what I had seen my family do, was you worked and one person's paycheck paid for life, hopefully if you both made good money, and the other person's paycheck helped pay for life too, but it also went into retirement and vacations and the little fun things of life. And everybody was out of the house and worked. I was a latchkey kid. I would come home from school. School got out at 3. My sister and I would walk down the hill, and we would let ourselves in. You had your key on around your neck with a shoestring or shoelace. And that was the majority of people in the 80s grew up, 70s and 80s grew up as latchkey kids. You didn't have a mom and dad at home, which was a really good way to get into trouble. Okay. And a lot of people tend to romanticize being a homemaker. Being a homemaker is hard. It's hard work. If you go out to work in the workforce and you're a woman, You have to pay someone else to do the stuff that you were going to do as a housewife, and everybody made fun of you. Don't stay home and do that. Go make money. Oh, but then you're going to have to hire a nanny. Either you and your husband are going to have to divide the chores equally. Good luck with that. Or you're going to have to hire a cleaning company to come in and clean your house, send a maid service. Good luck trying to get time off when your child is sick, when you have to fix the car, when you have a doctor's appointment, when you have a dental appointment, when your husband is sick. And I mean, it's just a nightmare to try and coordinate that. And when my husband and I were first married, I did work part-time outside the house. I worked at a tea room. Then I worked at an insurance company. And in 2007, we went on a vacation and I quit that job and we came back. And I think after that, I worked a little bit at an insurance company. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the pettiness. I'm tired of, even if it was just me and the boss in the room, and that's it. There's just, she owns the company and I'm her employee, and she still can't be a decent human being. Because somewhere along the line, women were told that in order to be a boss babe, you had to be a third word that you only hear you hear it a lot more these days as like a word of empowerment, but you used to only hear it in dog kennels. So and my husband kind of, he kind of struggled with that at first. But I would talk to him about it and I said, I don't want to do everything. I don't want to bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan and clean the house and do the dishes and do the laundry and everything else. And, just go be the provider, make the money, and I'll do everything else. Okay? Oh, and don't die. Don't die. Make the money and don't die, and I'll do everything else. And about 10 years ago, he was really sick and in the hospital. And he was there for a week. And some people in his family were really unhappy, and my family too, that I wasn't working. Like, we couldn't work. We had to go on food stamps. Okay. We were risking losing the house and everything. But again, it was one of those things where at that time, minimum wage was pretty low. And they were like, why aren't you working instead of going on food stamps? My husband needs help at home. I can't leave him at home alone. He needs 24-hour care. Well, hire someone. Okay, do you hear yourselves? Like, do you really hear yourselves when you say something so completely ridiculous? Go work somewhere for 10, 12, 15, hopefully $20 an hour, and go spend that paying someone else $25 an hour or whatever it was at the time to come in and take care of your husband. Or we could go on public assistance and I could take care of him instead of a stranger. I wouldn't know who was doing what to him if I wasn't home. I have to go and stand on my feet all day, serving people or doing something to people who were unappreciative, unhappy, walk out at night in the dark to get to my car and drive home in the snow and bad weather and etc. Why? When I could be here taking care of my husband. That's what's important. Being here for each other. That's what's important. Being a healing presence in the lives of our families. Okay? This book talks about that. It's thin. It's not going to take you super long to read it, but it will take you not super long, but it's one of those books where you have to like process stuff. This book talks about things like in Cosmopolitan magazine, which I read as a young woman, they could write about anything. And they did write about anything. It was kind of gross, but that's what you did. But you could write about anything except for being a housewife and a mother. You could talk about all myriad of modern problems that we have now. There's something to be said for living a simple life, a small life. a hobbit life. And when my husband and I, when we sat down to watch Lord of the Rings, was it 20, 25 years now? I was enraptured with hobbit life. I thought, oh my goodness, this is how I want to be. This is what I want to do. I want to be a hobbit. And it was kind of like, what? We are really opposite in stuff. He is a software engineer, and I need to fill up the oil in my oil lamp. You guys, opposites attract, but we both love the Lord and we both love each other. We both respect each other. We make it work. And I couldn't be happier. I really do love my marriage. I love being married to him. I love being a homemaker. I love being a traditional wife. And there are people out there who will get so mad at this video, who hate the idea of traditional roles in marriages, traditional roles for men and women, that they come unglued at this sort of thing. And you know what? Get over it. I'm not here to live my life to please you. I want to make videos and content for people who are interested, for women who are interested in being housewives, for Christian women who are interested in being housewives, for young women who don't want to go into the workforce and want to be a housewife. Now, I have never had children. Okay. So the whole mommy thing, you're not going to see that here. Okay. But there are a lot of people out there who are in the same situation as my husband and I, who never had children together. Okay. He had children from a previous marriage. They're in their late 30s. One of them's getting ready to turn 40. Maybe she has already. But they don't live in the same state, let alone the same city. We don't see them. So it's kind of a distant family thing. But I take care of him and he takes care of me. And there are a lot of people out there who are in that situation. They're cooking for two instead of 22. You know, and there's all these really great videos, really great channels with content about big families. But it's just the two of us. What are you doing? It's just the two of you. You know, and so I'm going to be talking about my faith. I'm an Orthodox Christian. I'm going to be talking about what it's like to be an Orthodox Christian woman in a modern society that hates God, that hates family, that hates women being at home and thinks everybody should be in the workforce. That is a socialist Marxist viewpoint. It could even be part of the Nazi regime for all I know, and I don't care. It's something where there has been an attack on the family since the family was created by God many, many centuries ago. It's just another day and another attack. And that's fine. They can do their thing. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And part of that service is healing. It's making bread. It's making soap. I'm going to be making some soap. I'm going to be making some lotion. The salve that I made. Okay, so that video the other day, I have to finish this up. We're at almost 20 minutes. Can you see that? So it's like a candle. I'll post a previous video. I'm going to put it on my hand. And so I just carried in all those groceries. So it's a pain relief salve. Okay. And what I do, I have to scrape it with the back of my fingernail. So I get it on my fingernail and then I put it on the skin that needs it. And my body heat melts it. Okay. But I'm still going to give it as Christmas presents. So 4.25 containers came out. I'm keeping the half. And I'm going to give a container to a friend of mine with some herbal bath sachets. And maybe I'll make some bar lotion, some herbal remedy teas and things. And so put a little basket together for her and call it good. I'm not going to go out and spend a lot of money on manufactured things. I'm going to make the fun thing. Okay. I'm going to watch Baby again starting tomorrow. If you remember from my previous videos, she has the most beautiful green eyes. She's a little kitty. Well, actually, she's not that little. She's just a little round bowling ball of a kitty, and she's so sweet, you guys. So I'll get some pictures of her and share them with you. I highly recommend this book. I'll show it to you again for a third time. Give it to anyone, man, woman, anyone who is even a hardcore feminist. Say, I don't know if you're going to read this or not, but I thought I'd give this to you, and so you can see what the other viewpoint is, because things aren't always presented accurately within the media, within our culture. And if you have young women who in your life like, well, I really want to be a housewife, but my friends are giving me heck about it, get this book for them. Give them this book. The Anti-Mary Exposed. There is toxic femininity out there, and ladies, we have to own the fact that we're not perfect. We talk about toxic masculinity. Not all men are toxic, and not all women are perfect. But this has been the dichotomy and for a long time now in our culture, and that's not good. We have to stop treating men as the enemy. They're not the enemy. Some of them are being used by the enemy, but they're not the enemy. And if you are looking for a place to come to watch homemaking videos, let my channel be one of the many in your channel feed that you come to. Okay, thank you. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. Please hit the like and subscribe button and help this channel grow. We're over 300 people now, 300. Don't despise small beginnings. I know my previous herbal video was a little rough around the edges, but we all have to start somewhere. And, this is where I'm starting. This is where I'm growing a lot more content. I hope to make more videos during the week, starting with this one. All right. May the Lord bless you and keep you and make his light to shine upon you, now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Bye.